Hey guys, Nario here. Recently there's been a blog posted by Cliffy B, formerly known as the Epic Games leader, and he posted a blog on his Tumblr called Nickels, Dimes, and Quarters. It's very relevant to the video game industry as it is right now, and I've been gaming since I was 4 years old, so it's obviously, a pretty important thing to me. So I thought I'd actually tackle it for this episode of Nario Talks. Microtransactions, also known as DLC, we've been seeing it emerging into the Xbox 360, PS3, and PC, but what's interesting is that it used to be known as expansion packs. The expansion packs, which used to be bigger and cost more, now it's smaller and cheaper. So that's what microtransactions and DLC is. But Cliffy B, he wrote a blog on his Tumblr and talks about the DLC and such, people's reactions to it and such. He goes on to saying how, video games are made by companies like to make money, and that DLC gives them more money. Sometimes just enough, because, used game sales, developers see 0 pennies from those sales. They result in spreading words of mouth. That's how the games can be marketed, by selling used. Oh dude, have you played this game? Yeah! Check it out. But, when it comes to making actual money, they need to be bought new, and then the retailer needs to buy more games. Amazon, Walmart, GameStop, you buy the game new, and then they get money from it by them buying more of the same game. So if it sells, they buy more. There was this video called "Don't Copy That Floppy."
Don't copy that floppy.
There's a lady on there that says they don't like it. I guess we'll make more of those. So if you steal the game, they don't get money from it. So how do they attack this? DLC. With DLC, they can be able to make a profit even off of a used copy of a game. So in that stance, that's great. For the cheap gamer, that's terrible, I know. But, a cheap gamer, if they really cared about a franchise, they would buy the game new anyways. Say, me. I have a great love for a niche company by the name of Atlas. They release Persona titles, and up until now they've released every Persona title localized in English. The only one that hasn't been localized and updated is Persona 2 Eternal Punishment. The latest version we got of that was for the PS1 back in 2000, but other than that, all the other titles have been updated and brought up to snuff, so that's pretty cool. I like to support them. I like to buy all their games new, that or buy them on PSN. I want to show my love for the company. I may not like it, I may not make a whole bunch of money. I don't even make 10 bucks an hour. But hey, I love Atlas, so I get their games new. I try to show my love for them however I can. But of course, this doesn't work for everyone, and of course there are some people who still don't know that used games do not help out developers at all. They may not think that they're actually hurting the industry by doing so. Well, not really hurting it, but, they don't really profit off of it. So, DLC can help out there. Of course, one issue is that for games that are already profitable and have DLC, well, EA, Activision, they just want to make more money. I guess in a capitalist free market industry, I guess it's not entirely wrong, but at the same time, it is pretty darn sneaky. Cliffy B points out that EA's been getting a lot of hate lately when, yeah, sure, they rush out games, they rush out Mass Effect 3's ending, whatever, but, they're still a company. Same as Steam, same as Valve, yeah, sure, Valve has a better image, but it is what it is, they may release Team Fortress 2 for free, but you know, there's still, you know, the desire to make money. That their company, they just do a little bit better, you know, have a better image. Let's see here. Yeah, I think this is interesting what Cliffy B here says. If you're currently raging about this on the internet, you're the vocal minority. Your average guy that just buys Madden and GTA every year doesn't know, nor does he care about what you're saying, you know. I think that's really interesting. Interesting way of putting it. You know, we may be complaining or analyzing, but they don't know. You know. Let's see here. I'm really trying to look into seeing what I can cover here, because this is very important to me. This has been on my mind, on my heart for the past couple of days. It says Cliffy B posted this blog on February 28th, and I've been thinking about it ever since. It's been days, and it's still on my mind, still fresh on my mind. You know, it's very important to me that this industry, we don't know where we're going, and even Cliffy B points that out. And that's why publishers and developers are testing the waters. In some cases more so than others. As Alex Navarro of Giant Bomb points out, I mean, my goodness, that racing game, what is it, Real Racing 3? Yes, Real Racing 3 by EA for the iPad. My goodness, $500 to unlock all the content for the game? That's insane. That's crazy there. I mean, I know that's an option and you don't have to do it, but good grief. I guess it's there if you want to do it. But Cliffy B does point it out, you know, if you're not a fan of the practices, if you're not a fan of the game, just don't buy it. Now, I find that interesting though, because a lot of people have interpreted that as meaning, don't complain about it. Shut up. We don't want to hear you complain about something that you don't approve of. And I don't think that's what Cliffy B is getting at here. Jim Sterling actually said just that. Jim Sterling of Destructoid, he says this about Cliffy B. As far as calling for people to stop being angry, I just don't agree. When people think of games, they care about being twisted to suit the psychological warfare that is a freemium model. I believe they've every right to be unhappy and should voice their disapproval. Even if they are a vocal minority, even if EA doesn't give a I defy anyone to see something they're passionate about get broken and not want to say something. That's the thing though. Cliffy didn't say don't get angry. Cliffy just said if you don't want it, don't buy it, get over it. And I think that's so interesting, you know, that people are reading into it that way, to the point where I actually tweeted, I disagree with Jim Sterling. Cliffy B isn't asking people to shut up, but rather understand. And Cliffy B responded with, Jim is an okay guy, but how many games has he shipped? So, you know, it's an interesting position we're in. You know, everyone's got a say in the industry, some more than others, but ultimately, you know, what it comes down to is, when push comes to shove, you know, how far are we going to accept this DLC thing? Personally, I wasn't a big fan of it. And then Rock Band and Mass Effect took over. I'm telling you what, Mass Effect 2, that got me so hard. I bought every DLC I could for that game. It was amazing, worth every penny. I implore you, if you are a fan of Mass Effect, please get every DLC for it. I mean, Mass Effect is just fantastic. I'm just a fanboy, so maybe that's why I love it so much, but I had to become a fanboy somehow, you know? I loved the first game, went to the second game, loved it, so, you know, they played that card right. They knew how to get me. So it's just real interesting. So all I can say is, you know, DLC, it's an evolved form of expansion packs. Sometimes it comes as supplementary, sometimes it feels obtrusive, sometimes it's free to play, and that ultimately means you gotta spend a whole bunch of money to get all the content. So Sometimes it works right, sometimes it doesn't, but no matter how you spin it, if you like the game enough, you'll buy the content. That's all I'm gonna say. Y'all take it easy.